Hey guys, Will Shortly back here today for another Fortnite video. Now today I'm going to be doing something a little different compared to my gameplays with squads, duos, and solos. I'm going to be showing you guys my 6 best pro tips on how to build for getting the high ground and making sure you always get that elimination. Now the most common mistake I see whenever I'm in a build battle or whenever I come up against an enemy usually is say let's go and build like just some 1x1s. Now let's say we're in a giant build battle and we're just going up, fighting people, I don't know, there maybe 3 people on you, 2 people, it really doesn't matter. But see how high we are. Lots of people at this point tend to just fall down. Now, if you fall down to here, you're going to be losing some fall damage. Past 3 stories, you're going to end up losing fall damage. I can't remember what the exact amount of health you lose per story is, but I know. But the thing that you got to know when you're coming down from a build fight is all you have to do is just build a ramp. Landing on a ramp will actually prevent a lot of damage from happening, even if you're falling down. You could land on that 2 HP or 3 HP, and that could actually save you instead of falling to your death. So, landing on a ramp is very key. So, if you fall down any time, I'd suggest to always use a ramp. Obviously, I couldn't there because it was the backwards facing ramp. But if I was to fall from down here, now, if we do the math for that, that means I lost 38 health by that one fall. If we go back up to the exact same place where we were and we build a ramp and instead land on that instead of just a normal ground, you'll see that you'll lose a lot less health. I just went from 62 to 46 health. The total damage taken then is actually only 16 instead of 38. Now, that's actually quite a bit of health to keep you on. So if you're really low and you're in a build battle, falling down to complete base level could easily kill you. So just by placing that one ramp, you can actually save a lot of health and possibly jump pad away, bouncer away, whatever the situation is. Now you're probably thinking, why does that matter if you want to get the high ground? Well, let's say you're in a build battle. It doesn't really matter how high you are. I'll just build probably about 4 layers high because that seems to work. If you're going to want to get down from the building, maybe the storm's moving in, or you know that the build battle is getting way too high for you, landing back down on a ramp can actually benefit you for getting the high ground later after the opponent also falls down, so then you don't land completely on the ground. For example, if you wanted to get on top of this hill, instead of falling completely down to the ground, and now you got to start building up from scratch, you could instead land on a ramp, and then now you're already at a much higher advantage, or a better advantage, than the opponent is on getting on top of the hill. They could be behind you, they could be in front of you, it really doesn't matter. It's just, since you're going to be wanting to get back up top to get the high ground, landing on a ramp will be able to get you to the high ground sooner after you fall back down. Now, another really easy, quick thing you can do to always get the height advantage whenever you're in a build battle is always place one ramp above the previous ramp. Now, what I mean is essentially, if you're going to be building up, you're always going to want to place one ramp above the opponent. That way, they're going to have the disadvantage and you always have the high ground. Say you turn around and you're right here. If the opponent is straight north of you, obviously, just say he's like, I don't know, he's right where that rock is. You're going to want to get up and over him, so the first thing you see when you aim is his head, so you'll get headshots, and then he'll go down quicker, and then you can move on with the rest of the game. Now, instead of just placing a wall and then a ramp, you still can't see the opponent from this angle. You can pop up, obviously, but now the one thing that's showing is your head, and if they're actually pretty good at aiming, then they'll most likely get a headshot on you, and if you're not on 200 health, then you're most likely going to die. So instead what you can do is, instead of placing this one ramp and then waiting to place the next ramp, you can always place 2 ramps on top. So what I mean, you can place a ramp just like that. You place the wall and then 2 ramps. Now, it doesn't matter if he shoots it out. Say he shoots this out with a scar. You're still behind it. He can't see you. He can't shoot you. So whenever you see an opponent that you're going to obviously want to try and get the height advantage on, you're going to build 2 ramps above, because now, even if I don't want to go any higher, I can still support myself with a 1x1, or if I do want to go higher, you can just keep going. It gives you more momentum so you can keep going forward if you need to, and then if you don't, they can still shoot it out. It can be a distraction. Now, the last benefit of doing this, as there are a lot of benefits of doing this, which is why you should always build 2 ramps over what you're building, you're going to be able to cover the opponent. So say the opponent is right here or maybe even here. They're going to want to build and they're going to want to get the height advantage. So they're going to place a ramp most likely right here. Just so you can get above them, by placing 2 ramps, they have nowhere else to go and now they're blocked. Now from this angle, if I were the opponent, you have absolutely no angle on the person who's building, which is us in this case. And so now you're going to have to figure out how to outplay and get back on top. But since we just built this ramp, now we're in control and we're going to be dominating over this player, so we have the height advantage and it should be a lot easier for us instead of trying to figure out how to get back on top. Now, moving on to the third tip. This is actually pretty common, and you guys might probably know what this is already. But basically, if you're going to be going into a build fight, you can build a 1x1 directly around yourself and protect yourself, obviously, so you don't want to be hit because you can't be hit in any direction. Let's just edit this out and say they're going to be like I don't know. We'll just say they're going to be north over there. Now, as the opponent is way north, you're going to be wanting to go south, so then you can overlap and get on top, and you'll know what I mean after this example, but you're going to be wanting to get a high ground, and in this situation, you're going to be wanting to edit, so you can either edit by doing that, you can edit a door, and it really doesn't matter, but let's just say you edit a door. You can build just ramps up. The only problem is if you turn directly around, they're right there. And more likely than not, they're either going to shoot your ramp down with an SMG, or they're just going to AR you in the back. So if I'm standing right here, even if I'm standing way down here, there is no cover all the way up to this ramp. My back is just completely free. Anyone can shoot me. People can snipe me from the side. People can hit me from the back. You really don't have any protection. So I would definitely not recommend just building straight ramps up. So if you place one ramp and then look up, as you built a box, there's going to be another ramp that goes on top. Now you have two ramps. And so what you can do is you can place one to walk on and place one above you. And if you keep repeating this, as you notice, now the person or the opponent that is over north, now there's two layers of ramps that are between, well, there's one between you and then you're in the middle like a sandwich. Now, they're going to have to shoot through a whole layer of ramp and then they're going to actually have to get to you. That's the only way they can really do anything if they don't move. By building ramps, you can keep going higher and you can trust that you can't really get hit until you get to the very top of the last one, and you still can't even get hit if they're on that platform. And when you get to a point, which is probably about 3 or 4 ramps, it depends on like how big or tall your building structure is, you're going to want to build a box around you. So it doesn't really have to be perfect. I mean, in certain situations, you most likely won't build a whole box. You're just going to be covering where the opponent's going to be firing at you. So in this situation, I would just build a wall and then a ramp, and now you're overlooking the opponent. So we just came from going south, the exact opposite direction, and then turning all the way around, like I said, overlapping, and now we just turned like exactly around, and now we have the high ground on them. Now the next tip is mostly specific for if the opponent already has the high ground, or if they're on a hill, or you're going to be basically going up to them and you're at the disadvantage. This is just going to be a basic wall cover. Now a lot of people I see play don't really use this. You'll know what I mean when I show you, because say the opponent is in that wooden structure straight up there. So obviously you're going to want to build ramps up. The problem that I see everyone do is they just keep building up. If I'm right here, the player directly in that little cabin thing, he can see me this entire way. So even if I'm all the way down on the bottom of where I started, he can shoot at me this entire time that I walk up this ramp. So you're going to be getting lit up as you run up this ramp because there's nothing protecting you, and you'll most likely die because the ARs do a lot of damage. So instead of just building up with no cover, what you can do, which this also takes a lot of practice and situational awareness of what the opponent is doing, but basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to want to build some ramps up. Now if you, well, I can't build. If they notice that you're going to start to build and they can see you from, let's just say they can see you right here, just build 2 walls. If there's a wall in between you, or a ramp, doesn't matter. If there's a wall in between you and the opponent, they cannot get you. So from this position, you're going to be wanting to build a platform, which I can't do. And then you're going to be wanting to build a staircase. And now, what you can do is you're still covered. They can't see you. Build 2 more walls. A platform and a ramp. 2 more walls. Platform, ramp. This entire time they can't see you. So if they start shooting down your base or whatever your platform or ramp started on, obviously then you can peek up and just start shooting them straight from here. Now let's say the opponent knows what they're doing. You can still build ramps. You just don't want them to have a perfect vision of you. So if you build a ramp here, not the best not the best idea to go right here. If you're gonna be over here and then you think you're gonna want to go maybe left, build a wall, platform, stairs, and now you're still not seen. If you can get up a whole mountain without being seen and it's just walls, first of all, the opponent will be like, this is a really good builder because I can't even hit them because I can't see them. And second of all, you'll take tons of less damage because they're not even going to be able to see you, let alone probably hit you. If they see you for like 0.2 seconds, they probably won't hit you unless they get the luckiest headshot. Now, similar to the ramp landing I said in the beginning where you're going to fall and you land on a ramp, so you save health and you have the momentum to get to the high point, you'll have a lot better chance of surviving and losing a lot less health if you reverse your ramp after a build battle and you're coming down, or say someone shoots it down and you know it's gonna happen. So to always have a guaranteed way to come down, let's just build a giant, like, build battle, I guess. And we'll just get up to, like, a very high point, and I guess we'll just do it like that. So we'll have a flat platform. Say someone is at that chest, and they're gonna shoot this down. If there's only, like, 1 to 2 platforms, or a weak amount of ramps that are holding this whole structure up, if you reverse your ramps, you can just walk all the way down. And it's a lot more convenient, first of all, because you're not risking anything, you're just walking down. And second of all, you don't have to find those random spots where you have to fall down and then place a platform. Like, I don't have to find this spot and hope that either I don't fall through the platform or it doesn't misplace. Now, say you're pretty sure someone's gonna shoot down this one ramp as you're walking down. You can obviously place 2 at a time, and you can even jump down because you won't miss your ramps. So it's pretty much faster, and it's guaranteeing that you're not going to lose health. Now on to the last tip, and this is probably the most useful, I think, mostly for the fact that this happens in every game you play. But what I'm talking about is when people ramp rush, and say you are on this side, and you build 2 2x2s. Now, say the other person's a really good builder. They're going to be on the other side. They would have gotten to that high ground much quicker. So let's just say they build up to here. Now, obviously, they have the advantage. They're on top of you, and they can shoot you down. You're just going to be on this side. Now, the big question is, what do you do in this situation? Because you can't go back. They're on top of you. So the best solution that I think you can possibly do is place 2 platforms. Essentially, you just need to pick one direction, and you're just going to be going left or right. But basically, you build 1. You can build 2 ramps. I'd suggest just to build 1. It depends how quickly the opponent got, like, how high they went. And so what you can do is you can just turn in a circle. You do a full turn for that, and now you're going to be in a better position compared to where you just were. And from this position, you can really do anything. You just want to get yourself higher than the opponent. You can do a platform, a wall, a ramp, a platform. Just keep repeating that if you want to go up. You can do a wall and then a ramp, wall, wall, ramp, wall, wall, ramp. But completely going around the walls, you can just choose to go left or right, and then you really just want to build, and obviously that speed comes with practice, but you're going to want to build and do a full turn, and then a ramp, and then obviously another ramp to add on top, because if they're there, you can place a wall, so now they can't see you and you're behind the wall, and you can either keep building up, or you can shoot at them from right here. Most likely, they'll try and keep going forward, and then do the exact same thing we did, and like do a whole turn, and then come back on top of you. So if you just keep standing up or maybe going forward, then you're going to be on top of them, and then they physically can't go directly up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find this video helpful, please leave a like on the video. It always helps. And make sure to drop down in the comments anything you want me to go over, if you want any more tips or if you want to do some aiming. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and bye.